Okay, hi Dr. S. I'm sharing my Practicum 2 code with you. Jump right into it, starting with an empty environment, and my project folder doesn't have a SQL database or any HTML files. We're just going to do everything from scratch here. So we'll start obviously with our database creation, outline of code here, and then defining our tables and all the characteristics. Go ahead and source that, and then I disconnect from the database, but I'm just going to reconnect and prove that we have those tables sitting empty in our database. Clear our environment again. Now onto parsing. So we have our URL of the full data set. Used a combination of XPath and just regular XML parsing method. I define my data frames outside of my loops where I actually parse the data, and then I have my checkpoints for catching any NA values or empty strings. Those get thrown out from the data set. Otherwise, they will be thrown into either the bed facts or later the bed facility row. I was able to combine the creation of these two tables into one loop, so I don't have redundant code in two loops, since I'm like tallying the bed counts, and I can also use those for the rows in the bed facts tables before they're tallied. So that's how I did that. And then this is just kind of cleaning up the data frames before they're added to the ultimate tables. The bed categories was created. We then use that to reference the category IDs and change the category name row or column in bed facts to category IDs. So then we wrote them to the table, and I will source this code and show you my completed data frames that ended up being added to the database. All right, so we have our data frames here completely filled in. I made sure to check the calculations by hand, make sure that everything was running smoothly. We have our bed categories, just the 19 distinct types of category, and then our bed facts, which is the multiple categories within each hospital. There's a row for each one. Those are what were ultimately written to our database, and we can check to make sure by just clearing our environment again, just proving that they are within our database, and we can access it by knitting this notebook. This was created mostly using SQL statements. I tried to use those as much as possible rather than R. Let's knit this. We have our fast facts. We have our pie chart using or showing the total bed numbers across all hospitals. We have our breakdown of bed numbers by bed type for each category of bed. And then we have our top 10 hospitals with the most staffed beds and their names. This is the top ranking hospitals for staffed beds per category. So this is the part that I had the most problems with in the code, and this is kind of the part that I really had to use AI assistance with, because I was trying for an approach where I would use kind of complex ordering rather than nested SQL statements to just order, like, I want the first 19 rows of my table to be all the rank 1s of each category, and then the second 19 rows would be rank 2, and the third 19, etc. So I was trying to just do that approach, and then at the end of my statement, it would be limit 19 or limit, however many the count of the bed categories table. Unfortunately, that approach just didn't work. I couldn't really get it to work, and I was kind of, I had a missing piece. So I asked GPT, like, how do I actually rank these by this category while also sorting them or ordering them by these other categories? So it showed me this ranking over partition method where you can rank them by the sum of your relevant numbers, but also you partition them by categories, and then you also group them by the category and the name. So when we start with that, and then we can select all those, they actually have a rank, and we can just select all the rank ones. So that was kind of a missing piece, that I did not have that SQL skill before, and now I know that it exists. So yeah, we were able to complete the project, and everything ran pretty smoothly, I think. So yeah, this is a fun project, and thanks for listening.